Have you ever been watching Spongebob and it just starts to feel different? Like the episode stops being just another cartoon and turns into a whole new experience. Like you're not really watching Bikini Bottom anymore, you're kind of in the episode itself and just vibing. This show has created a lot of episodes where I'm like that, and I'm like, man, this would be a good episode to get teleported into and just be absolutely gone. Club Spongebob is my first memory of this. I'm pretty sure every time I've watched this episode, it's made me realize how hungry I am. Imagine just going out into the deep wilderness and you don't have to worry about anything because you get literally everything you need from random supply drops. And all you have to do is worship a plastic toy. To be fair to Squidward, I'd probably be a bit skeptical too, but I don't know how long I could do this filter feeding diet for, so I'd probably come around. Like imagine seeing all this food in front of you and a bloke like Bob don't let you feast because Talking Ben says no. Squidward's crash out should have come sooner. But hey, I'd take camping out in the woods over maybe getting attacked by a sea bear any day. Speaking of sea bears, the camping episode is one that I'd rather stay away from, which crossroads me into my next point. Today I'm going to be taking a look at different episodes that would be either good or bad examples of getting teleported into while being in the clouds. I have a few separate categories that I've separated these episodes into. The first category, which includes Club Spongebob, is solid vibes. You know, these ones are good, not a ton of risk to them, but not the biggest payoff. The next group is going to be questionable atmosphere. These ones have the potential to be really good, but also have the potential to be an absolute nightmare. Which is my third group, nightmare fuel. Pretty self-explanatory, these ones have no redeeming quality to them, and they're just here to counter everything else that we're going to take a look at. And finally, the last ones I'm going to talk about are top tier. These ones are pretty much, if someone gave me the opportunity to get completely blitzed in one of these episodes, then I wouldn't be able to say no. Let's just take some time to imagine what it would be like in some of these episodes. Not ranking them by the best writing or anything like that, just pure vibe levels. From solid chill energy to episodes that feel like you've been underwater for way too long. Let's get into the first category. Well, we already talked about Club Spongebob. There's a few more that I have that are pretty much just chilling with the boys, SpongeBob and Patrick. Let's talk about Idiot Box first. I mean, I'm convinced these boys had to be on something in this one. Maybe hot boxing? But imagine actually being able to see and hear the same things that SpongeBob and Patrick are inside the box. The cinematic noises and the realism that they're experiencing had me wanting to jump in my own box as a kid. Childhood me's brain is still screaming with curiosity. Imagination is not the answer. I know if I was sitting good inside the box with these two, they would be able to carry all the vibes for the day. Hopefully we don't get the dump truck treatment like Squid, but other than that, I feel like this one's a pretty safe option. Snowball Effect is another one like this. Just hang with the lads, slinging ice at each other's noggins. Sounds fun if you ask me. Or just chilling with Squidward inside his house would be peak. Then we'll get it to ourselves when he starts crashing out because he thinks he's in Nam. Honestly, the main reason I picked this episode is just because of the vibes it gives off. It has that cozy winter feeling instead of that uncomfortably cold winter that something like Survival of the Idiots has. As someone who lives in the Midwest, I see both ends of the spectrum, but nothing beats that first snowfall feeling. This one and Idiot Box is honestly the two episodes that would be easiest to replicate in real life. Nothing about that underwater Bikini Bottom aesthetic has come into play yet. But branching off of that one, Christmas Who kind of reflects that vibe that we get in Snowfall Effect. This one just maximizes the holiday spirit, and I really appreciate the underwater Christmas celebration that we get. Vibing out here seems like a good trip. The part that I think about the most is the nice nighttime look that we see in the decorated version of Conch Street. I'll always love that Christmas time look with all the lights getting put up and everything. It's always my favorite part of the year. Obviously nothing risky about this one. And the last one I got in the solid vibes category is Jellyfish Jam. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people would have put this one higher, but seeing SpongeBob and Squidward's reactions to the jellyfish make me feel like it would be a little overstimulating. I feel like for a while it could be a vibe, but I would definitely get sick of it. However, the main rave scene is the part of this episode I would want to experience for sure. All the different flashing lights and the colors and whatever the hell is going on with the visuals in this part. I don't care, just give it to me. It's definitely something that I would want to experience. I mean, who wouldn't want to just blast the speakers and have a good time like this? But yeah, I don't know how long I would be able to hold up at the function. Again, all these I'll consider solid vibes with a decent upside and not much risk. Let's move on to the next category. Now here's a bunch that I just couldn't decide to put them in positive or negative categories, so I just put them in another one that's pretty much just, this could be really good, or it could ruin your life. This might piss some people off, but the best example for this one is absolutely SB129. In terms of an episode taking you for a trip, I think this has got to be the best all-around example in the entire show. I feel like we all remember the first time we saw this episode. I mean, what the hell were the writers cooking with here? I would almost rather be off one than not if I had to get put through this one. Like, the prehistoric part is so eerie, I don't think I would be able to relax here at all. It's like the aquatic version of the Amazon rainforest. Like, I feel like I would just get murked in the first 30 seconds. The future part seems pretty chill. I mean, I don't know how much I would enjoy the chrome everywhere, and I don't know why there's so many sponge trons. But again, there's worse fates, like the last room that we have to talk about. What am I even supposed to say about this room? It's not like a room, it's like a... I don't even know the word to use, like a purgatory? This would be awful. Like, this is where the heavy stuff takes you. Yeah, this place is way too existential. I would lose my mind in this one. But there's just that tiny bit of confidence I have that would make me feel like I would somehow be able to appreciate the space I'm in. Which is why this one's in this category instead of Nightmare Fuel. I just have a feeling a lot of other people would put this one in top tier. My condolences to all of you. Let's pivot to the next one, Dunces and Dragons. This one could either perfectly match that dark fantasy feeling that all those TikTok slideshows had, or it could throw us into a Black Plague type scenario. I'm hoping it's the first one, because I actually really enjoy how this episode looks. It has such a warm color palette that's always so welcoming. Honestly, it makes me want to go up against that giant jellyfish dragon thing. You just gotta make sure to go into it with confidence, I guess. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'll always have a soft spot for that medieval time period. I feel like at some point we've all imagined what it would be like if we were living in that time, and it always strikes some type of nostalgic nerve in me. But yeah, it does seem like there's some problematic plot points in this world that wouldn't be the most enjoyable. Next one up is Shanghai. There's a few reasons I think this one could be dope. The Flying Dutchman's ship looks like it could be such a vibe with that sweet green glow around the outside. If it was solely based on setting itself, this one would definitely be one of those bro said he knew a spot moments. Imagine being with the boys on this massive ship overlooking Bikini Bottom. On the other hand, we're ultimately probably gonna have to deal with the Flying Dutchman. And not gonna lie, he kinda seems like a stick in the ass. I mean, Spongebob and Patrick were trying their best, and he's just gonna eat them because he doesn't mess with them. We gotta be better than that, Dutch. But say he ends up liking us and we just get to roam through the night a part of his crew forever and ever. I suppose I can get behind that for a little while. But I have to say, his attachment he seems to have with the sock really concerns me. Forever might be a little too long for me to compensate on that. But whatever happens, please just don't make me go through that perfume department. I can't handle all of that.
Also, I forgot to mention, but the Fly of Despair? No, man.
The last one in this category is Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3. This one maybe should just be Nightmare Fuel, but for some reason, there's just a few parts that tell me this could actually have potential. First off, who wouldn't want to chill out in Bikini Bottom's version of the Batcave? If we ignore the elephant in the room in this one, it's actually a generational crib to have for the crew. But the elephant in the room, pretty much Bikini Bottom's King Von, Man Ray. I'm not too into the lore of what this dude has done, but I don't know how easy it would be for me to get along with him. I want to say I'd be able to hang with him, but if that belt doesn't work or something, we're all cooked. Theoretically, let's just say he ends up being pretty chill, then we're hanging in the Mermaid Lair with him, Patrick, and Spongebob. I don't know if there's a better spot in Bikini Bottom to chill with that crew. But yeah, personally, I think all of these episodes could either turn out to be a really good time, or we would just be begging to get out of there. And of course, speaking of... Here's what I have to address. You might have noticed up to this point I haven't mentioned any episodes outside of the first 4 seasons. Yeah, I know this isn't a list based on the show's writing, but I'd still rather not talk about anything post season 4 at all. There's a ton of episodes I'd rather stay away from after season 4. My point is that there's so many bad episodes after the early seasons that they would all just be horrible to be in. Anyways, most of these shouldn't need explanation. You're crazy if you would want to be in any of these. There are no redeeming qualities or anything that makes me think any of these episodes would be a pleasant experience, especially Fated. The first one's Wormy. Does anyone even need an explanation? This is Nightmare Fuel. It's honestly kind of crazy how universally recognized this episode is. I get that the whole irony is everyone is overreacting to something so innocent, but no, that shouldn't be the takeaway here. If I live in Bikini Bottom and I see this, hell no, I'm out. Let's move on quickly and talk about a more innocent one, Squeaky Boots. Yeah, I mean, this one's not one that would freak me out, but it would still probably make me go insane. This whole episode is just replaying an obnoxious noise over and over. Have you ever had a song that you absolutely hate and it gets stuck in your head? Like it's so bad to the point where it's keeping you up at night because you can't stop thinking about it? I mean, that's pretty much what this episode is depicting. And for me, that's always a really bad experience. It's just noise taking over your life and you can't really do anything about it. Just look at what it did to our boy, Old Man Krabs. Oh man. I already mentioned the camping episode a bit in the intro. An episode that looks like it's just an innocent campout, but then turns into a constant paranoia when Squidward wants to play stupid games. It pretty much turns into that one movie with Jim from The Office having to be quiet otherwise he gets murked. That's the thing, right? I don't know how much I can trust myself of being able to draw a perfect circle even if I wanted to, especially if my head's not in the right space. But another one that's pretty much just this episode off crack is Sandy, Spongebob, and the Worm. Yeah, this one's just Sandy swapping places with Squidward. But instead of a sea bear, this worm is bigger than the whole city. I can just imagine in any scenario where I think I'm just chilling, then I hear about or see something that threatens the existence of the whole city, I would have a little bit of panic to me. Apart from that, we're not going to ignore how fast this bloke is. Like even if this dude didn't end up falling on the city, he could just rip through it at these speeds and we'd turn to dust before we even know it. I don't like the idea of something like this existing. These title cards that are in this episode always felt a little uncanny to me. I understand it now. Let's keep it on the topic of Sandy episodes. Survival of the Idiots is up next. I said earlier how this one is bad because of how cold the inside feels. Like it's that bitter cold instead of that really nice snowfall feeling. Like we got the boys' skin cracking off their bodies because of the temperature. Hell no. The worst part is this isn't even the main threat. Let me paint a picture for you.
You're trapped in a dome enclosure for an entire season in search of your friend. As you get deeper into exploration, you find out your friend has turned into a bloodthirsty sleepwalker and has grown 5 times the size and strength. When you get here, the weather welcomes you with a spectacle that you've never seen before. But the longer you stay, you realize the weather turns on you. It smites the area with harsher conditions that harden the chances of survival. Nowhere to hide, the inside guarded by a demon. And you're left with nothing. All you can do is somehow hope for a miracle through this encaged hell.
What's going on? We've completely lost the plot of the video. Neptune's spatula is up next. This one's pretty simple. If I was just going about my business and I come face to face with the person who literally created me, yeah, I don't think that would go over well. I feel like the only person who actually has a valid reaction to Neptune himself spawning in from the clouds is this random grandma. And I would say this one has some redeeming quality to it because it has plenty of food when I eventually get hungry. But I'll trust the palate of the people in the crowd to assume I wouldn't want to eat that either. But seriously, I need to emphasize how crazy it is that the most powerful being in this universe just comes out of nowhere on a random afternoon. Why does everyone act normal except for that one grandma? And the final episode I have in this category is Spongebob Tentacle Pants. This one should be pretty easy to understand too. It's not even something that I could ever say like, hey, that's pretty cool. No. Just imagine you're about to see your 2 friends, then when you get there you see that they morphed into one person. This episode actually makes me mad uncomfortable. Like screw seeing 2 of your friends in this position. Imagine you got combined with someone else and you had to share their body. Sounds like one of the most unfun, uncomfortable, claustrophobic, horrible experiences ever concepted. It kind of gives me the same feeling of when you get that really bad sunburn, or you just have those sleepless nights because your skin feels like it's an independent part of your body. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean. And then this episode just ends with this awful body horror. If I saw this or ended up being a part of this, we just need to move on. Yes, we finally made it. I had to talk about some decent experiences and some absolutely awful ones. I can finally get into the ones that are worth glazing. These ones are like the episodes that I watch and just absolutely yearn to be able to experience them in person. They're pretty much the ultimate chill spots where you can just vibe out and not have to worry about anything. On top of that, I have 7 different episodes that I would actually consider top tier, and I think some of these are better than each other, so I've actually ranked these by my personal top 7, and I'll be counting down starting from the 7th, finishing at the 1st. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yo, Sponge, you trying to go outside and catch another smoke?
Aw man, Squid, we just went out 15 minutes ago. What if a customer comes when we're gone?
Oi, mate, lighten up. No one's actually gonna come eat a Krabby Patty at 3 a.m.
Well, alright. Maybe just a quick one.
Oi, there we go, mate. You just done me in there, lad, you bout done just did. Now let's go, I'm absolutely knackered.
Alright, anyways, Graveyard Shift is gonna be number 7. Have you guys ever seen that one guy on Instagram who makes those drawings that's more if SpongeBob was an adult cartoon? You should check him out if you haven't before. I'll link the Instagram in the bio. This episode is like a perfect depiction of those drawings. I honestly just think this episode is such a vibe. Like you could just join the Krusty crew, work the night shift, pretty much take breaks all the time, and hopefully get paid for it. There's a few parts that seem a little unhinged, but honestly seems like a pretty good experience. Even Squidward loosened up enough to mess with SpongeBob for a while. Not only do SpongeBob and Squidward seem more appealing in this episode, but I just really love that dark and calm nighttime aesthetic that it holds. We barely ever get to see the Krusty Krab in the dark. I actually enjoy seeing it like this compared to the busy day shifts. The only reason that this one is at the bottom of this tier is because we're still working at night, and it might get a little tiring after a while, but I think there's way more positives than negatives here. I'm marking this one down as a W. My number 6 pick goes to Scaredy Pants. I pretty much just glazed another episode for nighttime aesthetic. This one just kicks it up a notch a little more. You could take a bunch of screenshots from this episode and just get a certain feeling from looking at them. It's always fun watching Halloween episodes of TV shows, and SpongeBob really dialed it in on this one. Their first try too. I don't know if there's a scene in this episode that I wouldn't want to be chilling in. Like throw me in that Krusty Krab Halloween party, bro. I just want to chill and talk to the Flying Dutchman Squidward. He gets it. But speaking of, that Grim Reaper Flying Dutchman always gotta ruin a bit of the vibe. Honestly, in this one I feel like people overly freak out a little bit. Like, if I looked like this, and someone tried dressing up as me like this, that's grounds for crashing out for sure. But let's just ignore that. Obviously this episode is up here solely based on how it looks. Bikini Bottom at night has such a cool vibe to it. Put me anywhere and I'm sure I would be able to have a good time. The next one's a bit of a weirder choice. Ugg is gonna crack the top 5 of this list. Like SB129, this one depicts an underwater prehistoric world, except this time it takes out everything dangerous, or anything that would make me tweak. If SB129 is the Amazon rainforest, then I guess it would make this one like a mythical jungle or something. It's almost calming in a way. Everything here is just a certain look that's always so pleasing to the eye. I would say the most dangerous thing in this world is probably Gary, who realistically shouldn't be a threat. But the main part that would make this episode great is cooking up all the random grub to see what works. Bro, this episode made grass and sticks look like they taste good. I want in on that action. But yeah, I would want to just hang out and explore the prehistoric Bikini Bottom. Seems like you could chill out anywhere that you look here. Next up, Sandy's Rocket comes in at number 4. Yeah, I'm noticing we're kind of just switching off between episodes that take place at night and ones that we're just eating the whole time. But does anyone disagree with me? I mean, yeah, this is another one where it's kind of just normal nighttime at Bikini Bottom, but that's not what we're here for. The part that I would really want to indulge in is the rocket itself. Man, just look at the interior of this one. This is just a peak season 1 SpongeBob design, all shoved into a small futuristic space. They make being in this rocket look so fun. I don't even blame them for pressing random buttons, like I would definitely be doing the same thing. Then when we think we're on the moon, we can just go on an absolute tear. Seriously, these two had no chill. You know, laser tag is one of those things where it's always fun to play when you do, but at most you're probably only playing it like once every 2 years. Anyways, I sidetracked, but these net guns also remind me of laser tag. Either that or like COD zombies, without the zombies fighting back. Yeah, I'd be down to do that. But ultimately, I'd be happy just chilling in the rocket at 0 gravity. That's why it's on the top 4. On to the next one, Enchanted Tiki Dreams. Yeah, I know I already made a big speech about why I wouldn't want to talk about anything after season 4, but this one is so good, I just had to include it. I honestly don't even know what the point of making this episode was. The whole plot is just Squidward is trying to relax and this paradise is made for him so he can do that. But ignoring the lazy writing, I don't know a single person who wouldn't want to be teleported into this episode. Growing up watching this one made me develop a small part of my personality that just yearns for this aesthetic 24/7. And for some reason this song like blew up on TikTok last year or something. Like, I don't know, that was kind of random. But in this world, there's nothing except perfection, the embodiment of relaxation. I've always just loved that tropical tiki theme that this episode holds. It's honestly why I like SpongeBob so much. It's pretty much a show based around that theme, especially in the first season. So expanding that theme into a whole reality and being able to indulge in an environment so immersive is a dream that I've been chasing, and I will be chasing until I finally get there. That's why this one has to be on this list. Getting up there now, the top 2 episodes. I know people have been waiting to hear this one, Rock Bottom. Back on the dark episodes trend, this one kind of has something that none of the other episodes do though. Everything in this one, like, glows. Kind of similar to the Flying Dutchman's ship in Shanghai, except here it's the whole city with that same effect. It kind of reminds me of a skyline at night. It's just pitch black everywhere, but the sources of light still illuminate the night sky. I don't know, I've always enjoyed that. Just take a look at any picture from rock bottom. That's the place where I want to feel loose. I don't know if there's even much more I can say about this one. You kinda just have to look at it yourself to understand. But since the list is based on episodes instead of the locations itself, I can add that this one actually starts in Glove World, which would be another spot that I would want to go sitting right. So that bumps this episode up even more. But there's still one that I think reaches the level that no other episode quite reaches. What episode is it? Sleepy Time. I truly believe this is the best SpongeBob episode to be faded in. While I was making this video, I was looking through all the episodes. I looked at this one and said, yep, this is the one. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that this is another nighttime episode, but we have some of the dreams like Pearl and Sandy's that take place during the day. I mean, come on, I can make a whole separate list about how good each individual dream would be. There's just so much content in this episode. Actually, I'll do that quick. Rank each separate dream. There's 8 of them. Last at 8th is Plankton. This one's the only one that could actually induce a bad trip. 7th is Patrick. Don't have a lot to do with this one. I would ride the horse for a bit and then probably get bored. 6th is Sandy. I mean, this one would go crazy. I'm not sure how skydiving would go over, but I guess we gotta try it. 5th is Pearl. This one's really comfy and relaxing. I would definitely chill here, there's just others that fit my vibe a bit more. 4th is Mr. Krabs. I'm a sucker for a good money dream, but I'm even more of a sucker for a crazy ship on the ocean dream. This one would be fun to be in. 3rd is Spongebob. I honestly forgot this one existed, but just ripping around in a race car will always be fun, especially when the only thing you can hit is food. Yeah, that's right, this dream has night and it has food. 2nd is Squidward's. I mean, we're talking about just vibing out and listening to live music. This is what I want. And first is, of course, gonna be Gary. This is honestly why I want to be in this episode so bad. This huge library and, I don't know, maybe something about the sound this part has? There's something about it that just really makes me want to be here. If that many good locations in one episode of SpongeBob doesn't justify Sleepy Time being first, I don't know what will. But I know a lot of people will disagree, and I'm sure that there's some episodes that I missed, so make sure to let me know in the comments which ones you would have put on this list instead, or in any of the other 3 categories for that matter. Also let me know if you want me to rank another show, video game, movie, whatever you can think of. Maybe just not post season 4 of SpongeBob. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for listening to me, we'll see you next time.